What's up, ACT preppers? Today we have another batch of practice questions. Today's going to be pretty easy mode. We're going to be going over questions you've seen in class and doing procedures that you do pretty often. Things like distribution and finding common denominators. However, there's going to be at least one problem that challenges you and maybe even a concept or two that comes like a blast from the past. There was that 1 week in Algebra 1 you learned how to do whatever, and all of a sudden it's on the ACT, but you haven't done it in like 3 years or whatever. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first problem. This is going to be the first.
All right, problem 1. The expression A times B plus C minus D is equal to what? Looking to simplify. This is simplified here, so I'm going to bring it down. This is C minus D. And there's nothing being multiplied in to that, so I'm going to just bring down the plus B out here as well. The whole thing's being multiplied by an A, which has to be distributed in. So that's AB. I'm keeping mind of my signage, so this is a positive A and this is a positive C, so that becomes positive AC. This is positive A times negative D, which becomes minus AD. And this is my answer. So that will be answer A. X squared minus 4x plus 3 minus, and this is in parentheses, minus 3x squared minus 4x minus 3. Now I'm going to distribute this in, the negative, and then I'm going to combine like terms. So that's negative 3x squared. Ignore that guy up there. Negative 3x squared. This is positive 4x, and this is positive 3. You can bring all this down. Oh, now that was a close moment, a close call. I almost forgot the negative 3x squared. I just wrote 3x squared right there. So I should have written negative 3x squared. Luckily, I caught it. Now we can combine like terms. So an x squared and a minus 3x squared become negative 2x squared. That's how that simplifies. This is a negative 4x. This is a positive 4x, so they just cancel out. And lastly, we have a positive 3 and a positive 3, so that becomes positive 6. So our answer is D. If x equals negative 5, what is the value of x squared minus 1 over x plus 1? I'll be plugging in the negative 5 into wherever I see an x, right? X equals negative 5, so wherever I see an x, I'm just going to replace it with a negative 5. Negative 5 squared minus 1 over negative 5 plus 1 simplifies to 25 minus 1 all over negative 4. Let's see. This becomes 24 over negative 4, which is negative 6. So our answer is A. Like I said, I think that kind of problem specifically is one you've seen in math class many times over. So hopefully that one was pretty easy. It's about as easy, I think, as the ACT can get. So here we have, well, for what value of R is the equation 8 over 12 is equal to 10 over R true? I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to say 8 times R and 10 times 12 and put them on opposite sides of an equal sign. So 8R becomes 8R, and this is 120. Divide both sides by 8, and we get R is equal to, let's see, I probably could do this in my head, but I'm a little anxious. That's 1, 8, 4, 0. So that's 5. 15. R is equal to 15. If your first step on this one was to simplify, that's great too. I just realized I could have done that. What is the least common denominator when adding the fractions, these fractions? A over 2, and we're adding them, so I put addition signs in between the fractions. D over 15. I'm going least common denominator, so I need to find the number that they all go into, right? So I'm going to start with 15 and say, does 2 go into 15? It does not. So I'm going to find the next multiple of 15 and ask myself, does 2 go into 15? Yes. Does 3 go into 15? Yes. But 9 does not go into 15. So I have to go up one more multiple. 45. 9 does, 3 does, 2 does not. So next multiple, let's go to 60. 9 does not go into 60, so I have to go up to the next multiple, 75. I remember that, 2 is not going to go into a number that's odd, so it does not have to go to the next multiple. 90. 2 goes into 90, 3 does, so does 9. For least common multiple problems and the least common denominator problems, you want to start with the biggest number. I'll mention that here and talk about it more in the lesson video. Okay, this problem. What number can you add to the numerator and denominator of 7/9? What number, x, can you add to the numerator? The numerator of 7/9, so I'm going to add x to 7 because they said the numerator, and I'm adding it to the denominator, so I'm adding x to the denominator as well of 7/9, right? 7/9 is right there. To get, that's the equal sign, 1/2. Okay, I've got my setup. Now I just have to solve. So I'm going to multiply both sides by x plus 9. I'm going to cancel, and I'm left with x plus 7 on this side, and I get x plus 9 over 2. Multiply both sides by 2. This becomes 2x plus 14. And this cancels out, so that's x plus 9. And now I'm left with just some x's, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And I get x over here, and then I'll subtract 14 from this side so that it ends up nicely. I'll show you in a second. These cancel. 9 minus 14 is -5, right? Yes. So these are on opposite sides of the equal sign. X is equal to -5. So our answer should be B. Alright, last problem. If 3 and 3/5, that's right, mixed numbers. Haven't seen these in quite a while, I'd bet. Plus 2 and 2/3. If 3 and 3/5 is equal to x plus 2 and 2/3, then what is x equal to? Simple problem, we're just solving for x, so we want to get it by itself. We're going to subtract 2/3 from both sides. These cancel out. The x comes down here. X is by itself, nice, but now we have to deal with our fractions over here. There's two ways to do this, and I'm going to do, it really doesn't matter which way you do it. I'm going to go over the second way in the lesson video, but for this video, I'll just solve it by making them into improper fractions. That's improper, I am proper, if you want to look it up. I'll leave that up. Alright, so 3 and 3/5, I'm going to multiply these numbers, 3 and 5. I multiply the big number times the denominator, that's 15, and I'm going to add it to the numerator, and it's all over 5. Same thing here. I recommend, if this is new to you, try to do the same process I did with this one, do it on this one. So that was 2 times 3, which is 6, and I'm adding it to 2, and it's all over 3. Alright, so running out of space here, let's see what I can do. This simplifies to 18/5 and this simplifies to 8/3, and we're subtracting them. I need to find a common denominator, so I'm going to say 3/3 on this guy. Common denominator is 15, right? And then this is going to be 5/5. So this becomes, well, 15. Well, 18 times 3 is 54, I believe. Yeah. And then this minus this, which is 40/15. We get, as our final answer, 14/15. And let's see if that's an answer. Yes, it is B. All right, so if any of that was difficult or whatever, check out the lesson video that'll come after this, and I'll go in a little more in depth into the concepts that are behind these problems. All right, thank you, and check out the next video.